So it's been a while since we've done a Blood Brothers episode.
Yes, it has. Yes, it's been a long time, and now we get to start up again.
You know, not a lot of people watch Blood Brothers. It doesn't get a lot of views, but it's one of the things that when people do stop me, like out in public, and have specific praise for something, Blood Brothers is one of the most frequently praised things that I do. So
Really, because when I'm out in public, one of the most frequently praised things that you do is saving people's lives. Nobody ever comes up to me and says, I love Blood Brothers. They say, Rabbi Shais Taub's your brother. He saved my life.
Do they really?
Yeah. I have had that multiple times.
They say I saved their life?
Yes.
Uh-huh. That was when I was a lifeguard at the pool when Corn Pop came over. I used to keep straight razors in a rain barrel to rust it up, make it more dangerous.
Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, Joe Biden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, what are we talking about?
Hanukkah.
We're going to talk about Hanukkah. I was thinking about my daughter was trying to figure out a Dvar Torah to say at a Farbrengen tonight, and so I was like thinking, okay, well, Hanukkah things, and I thought, all right, I'll do the thing about the Beis Yosef's question about the days of Hanukkah, the miracle, and so I went through the question. What?
Tell everyone the famous question.
I'm going to. I told her the question, and then she just she was very excited about it. So, the question is, if, all right. So the question, look, I'll do it the way I did it with my daughter, which is, what is the miracle of Hanukkah? You want to play the game? Go for it. What's the miracle of Hanukkah?
The oil lasted longer.
That's why we light candles, at least. It's one of the miracles why we light candles.
Yes.
Right. And why we light candles for 8 days?
Because the oil lasted 8 days.
Right. And how many days was it supposed to last?
It was 1 day's worth of oil.
Right. So then, and then immediately the light bulb went on for her, and she's like, oh yeah, so then what was the miracle the first day?
Right.
That's the question. Is if it was supposed to be able to last for 1 day and it lasted for 8 days, then there's only 7 days worth of miracle.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we talked about the Sikha, and we talked about, I had the opportunity to take out the Sefer that I love. It's one of the first Svarim I ever bought, which has 500 answers to that question.
Really?
Yeah.
There's one Sefer with 500 answers to that question?
Yes.
What's it called?
Yemei Shemaina, I think.
You know who it's by?
I mean, who compiled it? No, but the sources for all of them, there's like 500 of them.
I'm saying if it's your favorite Sefer or one of your favorite Sfarim, it would be, I don't know, what you never wanted to look into who did it and just write the guy a letter and be like, that was really cool.
Yeah, you know what? So let me run and get the Sefer.
Okay, I'll stall while you're getting it.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a minute.
No problem. So, Dovid, does everyone understand that Dovid, his office or his studio is a shed in his basement? He built a shed in his basement. So when the doors are open, you can see sort of like there's a basement back there. I think you can even see like his hot water heater. So now everybody knows the behind the scenes. And this is where he's been shooting the Parsha Rabbit Hole. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Dovid's new series, his weekly Parsha series called the Parsha Rabbit Hole, where he does a lot of research. It's actually a pretty marvelous scholarship, but it's also funny and quirky and interesting and highly engaging. But should check it out, Parsha Rabbit Hole, on his YouTube channel, which is called Creative Judaism. Creative Judaism. Okay, he's taking longer than I thought. So What do you want to hear? What do you want me to tell you? We switched from Visin Bracha to Visin Talu Motor Livracha. Did you hear about the Yakya who told his wife, I'm going out for Maidav now, and I'm going to be a little bit later for supper than usual, because tonight is the night we switch from Visin Bracha to Visin Tal Umotar Livracha. You get it? Because he's a Yeke. He's really punctilious. So the difference in those couple words being added, he felt he needed to tell his wife that he's going to be home later than usual. Okay, Dovid's back.
Now I'm back.
So what's who wrote?
All right, here's a Sefer Yemei Shemina.
Yeah, Yemei Shemina. Yeah,
500 answers on Kushiyas HaBeis Yosef. And it is, honestly, I never thought of this Sefer as being written by anybody.
Dovid, you spend so much time.
I know. I am saying this even though it'll make the person who wrote it or their son and daughter and grandchildren cry that I said that, but because like we're owning up to it.
That's like a guy who's watching Itchigadusi and he loves it. And he's like, I watch it, I quote it. Oh, there's a person who did that?
Honestly, for a puppet show, that's the greatest compliment. Maybe not for a Sefer, though. For a puppet show, you don't want people to think that you exist.
You don't want them to be thinking about it while they're watching it.
So is a book of Torah the same thing? That like if somebody would somebody have the same feeling, saying like, you read this Sefer and all you thought about was the Torah that's in it and not about me. That's the greatest gift you could give me.
As somebody who engages in scholarship and research and knows how hard of a job it is, surprising to me that you weren't cognizant of the human toil that went into putting.
I know. I should have been. And it's
so. Who's the guy?
What? Who's the guy? All right. That is, by the way, presumptuous of you to assume that it's a guy.
You're right. Who is the gal?
I don't know. I'm not finding a name here.
Maybe it did just spontaneously create itself. Wouldn't that be ironic?
It was a question that really should have only had one answer, and somehow it spontaneously generated 500 answers in the form of a Sefer.
Sounds like a Twilight Zone episode. The Man in the Cave. Okay, I think people are going to get bored.
You can't cut out all the pauses?
I could, but who's going to go sit and cut through this whole thing? You're going to edit it? I'm not going to edit it.
All right. The only thing it says is Machan or Chodesh.
Okay, the Machan or Chodesh, you know what that means? It means it's a group of guys. It's basically a koilo. So a bunch of guys did this.
Okay, or...
What?
Or a bunch of scholarly women.
Or a bunch of women, yes. Correct. Maybe that's even why they called it a Machan or Chodesh, because...
Oh, they knew the people might not be received properly.
Right.
Yeah.
So they hid behind a cloak of group anonymity.
So one of the answers first it brings the answers that the Beis Yosef brings or says.
What does Beis Yosef say?
There's the two different categories, So one is that they've poured out all the oil, distributed it, and that should have emptied out the jug, but it was full still.
Magic jug.
What?
Magic jug refill.
Magic oil or magic jug. Yeah, well, I spoke about the magic rabbit hole.
Yeah, Vayishlach rabbit hole. Parsha rabbit
hole. I'll for those of you who haven't seen, I'm making.
While you were getting the Sefer,
you already spoke about it. So then, all right.
Commercial for Parsha rabbit hole.
So yeah. So they've poured it out, and it was magically full. And then the other
one of the
style of answer
I heard when I was a kid was a guy found a magic lamp, a genie with a magic lamp, and I think he got 2 wishes in this joke. And the first one, he said, "Could I have a chocolate milkshake that never ends? Magically refills itself. It's never ending." And he gave it to him. "What's your second wish?" He said, "Could I get another one?"
Yeah. Why did he want another one now?
Right. Because the first one's never ending. So why would he want another one?
That's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Maybe you wanted to share it with a friend. He didn't want to get germs.
Maybe he could have just asked for a straw.
Second straw. He didn't even ask. He shouldn't have asked the genie for a second straw. He could just get a second straw.
That would be a waste of a wish to wish for a straw.
Yeah. That's a good new joke. The second wish was, "Can I get a straw?"
Or infinite straws, so you could share it with infinite people.
Yeah.
So
what's the second answer of the Beis Yosef?
Is that they divided it up so that it would last throughout the 8 days, so that it would be enough to last for that until they could get more oil. And they only put a little bit in each day, which wouldn't have been enough, and it to last the whole time, and it did.
Right. So they divided it up a little bit per day to light for a little bit per day, but it lit all day every day.
Right. So the Rebbe describes that as 2 different categories of answers, which is, and there's 500 answers, and they all kind of fit into these categories. There's another category, which is that the first day, the miracle of the first day was a different miracle entirely. Yeah, but there's like 100 answers like that. But in the category of the oil being the miracle that we're doing on every single day, then these are the 2 categories that the Rebbe divides it up into. Either is miraculously there is more oil, miracle oil, or the nature of the oil was changed so that it burned differently than oil usually burns. It burns miraculously. What?
Kamos and Echos.
Kamos and Echos. Yeah, right. It amounts to the oil and the quality of it.
Right. So was the miracle in the quantity, meaning that there was more and more, or was the miracle in the quality, that even the same amount of quantity was able to do more than it would normally do?
Right. So one of the answers that I saw in here, I forget where it's from, and I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to bore people, so I'm not going to say B'Shem Emre, unfortunately. Is basically the same one as the first one, that you pour out the oil and the thing is magically full, except it kind of described the mechanics of it more. That it said that the air of the air that entered into the jar became oil. So when you're pouring oil out of a jar, we think of it as like, oh, you're emptying it, but it's not empty. It's not a vacuum, right? As you are pouring out oil, air is entering into it to replace that space that was previously filled by oil.
Right.
And so this answer was saying, like, how does it work that you pour out oil and then you see that it's still full? Like, when exactly did it get there? And it's, I guess, as every molecule of air was entering into that space, it became oil, which is interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, isn't it? I think it's interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting that you would need to explain the chemical process of a miracle. Like, you wouldn't want to say it spontaneously generated out of nothing. you'd want to explain something, you know, as yesh me yesh, like one thing turned into another thing.
Right. So, yeah. The less you understand about the mechanics of the miracle, kind of the less of a miracle it is, right? Because then everything's a miracle.
Everything is a miracle.
Oh, all right. You just saved my life.
That's how I save people's lives, by the way.
By telling them that everything's a miracle.
Yeah. So tell us something interesting.
I thought I just did. I thought I just told you something interesting.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. You did. You did.
That was such a burn. Right. Just talk for 10 minutes. Tell something interesting.
Tell us something else interesting.
Well, why don't you tell us what the Rebbe's answer is, and then I'm going to tell you the questions I was thinking about it.
The answer from the Sikha?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm going to say it, and I have questions, and the reason I have questions is probably because I understood it wrong, and then you're just going to correct me, and then all my questions are going to go away.
Okay.
But I believe that the Rebbe's answer is that he introduces a third way of looking at it. It's not the quantity of the oil, and it's not the quality of the oil. It is that the oil, they poured in enough oil, and the oil didn't burn. Or it burned, rather, but it didn't get consumed. It didn't burn up.
Yeah.
So, in the past, is there anything inspirational and life-saving you want to say about that before I ask my questions?
No.
Okay. So in the past, I've had a question, and I might have answered it for myself tonight, which is, isn't that also just echos? You're changing this into oil that doesn't get consumed.
Yeah.
It solves the Rebbe's problem with the echos answer, with the quality answers and category of answers. Because the Rebbe's problem with it was that if you put in just enough oil you ration it out, then you're not doing the mitzvah properly, right? In this case, it allows you to put all the oil in, and then you're doing the mitzvah properly every single night because there's the right amount of oil in it every single night, and somehow it's not being consumed at all. But the Rebbe presents it in Likutei Sichos as being so this solves the problem, but he presents it as being a new category. It says I forget what the exact language is, but a third something way of looking at it, right? Why is this not just another echos answer that solves the problem?
Obviously, I don't remember the Sikha so well because when you asked me to tell you what it says, I didn't remember. But
it's the best way to ask questions is to ask somebody who hasn't seen it inside and doesn't know the answer, because then you can ask like questions that are based on misunderstandings of the topic, and then you force the person. Some of the greatest kedusha Torah I've ever elicited from people is because I completely misrepresented the subject matter.
Okay, I mean, I've learned the sikh before, so I don't think you could completely mislead me. But let's say I just follow your lead. What I seem to remember is that Rebbe wants to say that this was a paradox. It was burning and not burning. In other words, the category of eichos, quality, that the Beis Yosef describes is basically slow burning oil. It burned ridiculously slowly to the point where that's not natural. This is not slow burning. This is burning and not burning at the same time. Does that sound correct, or am I?
It sounds correct. It sounds like that is what it is saying. And then because later when he gives an example in Avodah, talks about like the feeling of Mesiras Nefesh that you have at the time of Kriya Shema in the morning, and how it wears off over time throughout the day. And so there would be one way of like maintaining that, where somehow you're able to keep it going, but it's still just, it happened once, and it's wearing off just slower over the day. Like you said, it's burning slower. And then the other way is just to stay in a state of Mesiras Nefesh constantly all day long. Okay, but it still doesn't answer my question, which is, it still is just a oil that burns and not burns at the same time. It's changing the quality of oil. Usually when you burn oil, then it's even more miraculous, but it's still just like, okay, usually oil burns and gets consumed as it burns, and now it's not. This oil behaves differently.
Yeah, but it's an inherent paradox. The other explanation is not a paradox.
Meaning there could be a substance that burns more efficiently.
Or I could say more simply, there's a rate at which oil burns. You could speed it up to burn crazy fast. You could slow it down to burn crazy slow. Either of those would be unnatural. But this is not a rate. This is not speeding up or slowing down the rate. This is transcendent of that entire concept. It burns without burning.
Okay. Like, I think if you understood physics and chemistry, not you, if I understood physics and chemistry enough, changing the rate of the burning would be equally as impossible. Like, to me, the way I am, it's like, I have no idea what the rate of burning of olive oil is, the consumption of it. And I certainly don't know why it is that way. I don't know what the
no idea what
chemical
the rate of burning of olive oil is. You take one of those little glass caps and you crack.
It is different every single time.
Really?
Yeah. What are you talking? You've never filled up that thing, and then one of them just went all the way down, and the others didn't.
You're right. So that's a miracle.
That's my Hanukkah miracle every Hanukkah.
Now I saved your life.
You did. No, because this miracle that you just pointed out to me is meaningless, because everything's a miracle, which you already saved my life with.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, okay, fine. It's great. You made it a cooler miracle. It's paradoxical, but is it still an Eichos thing?
No.
Why not?
Why is it not just simply changing the quality of the oil? Because that's not the feature of the miracle. In other words, the simple explanation of the Beis Yosef, when he says that it just took forever to burn, it took 8 days to burn instead of 1 day, like I said, is just slowing down the rate.
How do you decide when it sounds Lamdanish to pronounce a chaylim as a kametz?
I just imitate what I hear people doing.
Right? But Beis Yosef sounds so much smarter than Beis Yosef.
Yeah, I don't know. I just...
All right.
I just imitate. Like
I was hoping that you had a rule for me that aside.
No,
make a handbook on how to.
I don't have a rule. I don't have a rule. Yeah, just imitate what I hear.
Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you. You were saying something meaningful, potentially life-saving.
No, I wasn't saying anything meaningful. I think everyone's going to click away. I think everyone's going to be bored. We just do some tomfoolery, some shenanigans, just like, He did something silly over there to get the crowd back.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that work?
That's pretty good. You know,
Is that going to get the crowd interested again? They're going to come back?
Yeah, they're all coming back.
Our retention rate on the graph is going to go up. Not only are they going to watch it, they're going to keep on rewatching it. I want to see the part where his eyes turned into puppet eyes.
You know, you could sell this as a product for people who have to do Zoom meetings for work.
So they could take a nap?
They could take a nap. Can you imitate a guy? Just go try to relax your body like you're deeply asleep. Deeply asleep. Okay. But you're about to crack a smile, so it's not believable. Like, I want you to like slack jaw, drool. Stop. Oh, your eye fell out. Your eye fell out. Oh my goodness. You have a detached retina. That's so good. You should sell that.
What?
Oh my goodness. I feel bad for all the people who ran away because they got bored from the Echos and Commas discussion and they didn't get to see that.
Yeah, that's what you learn. You gotta put up with the boring
thing, and you got to respect the process.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of puppet eyes back there. You got some puppet noses too.
Yeah.
See, that's exciting. Puppet nose.
Looks like a clown nose.
Yeah, it does on a person, which is upsetting.
On a puppet, it doesn't look as clownish.
No, it looks correct.
You had a clown puppet. You remember your clown puppet? There was a clown in a Jacuzzi episode.
I used a clown nose for that, actually.
You used a real clown nose? As I recall, he was a mute clown.
Yeah, he wouldn't talk. He was
mute and he was passive aggressive. And I don't remember the joke. What was the joke?
Can we roll the clip?
You don't remember?
Hang on. Did they show up? It was in the Pesach one.
He was he was menacing. Oh, it was because they had the circus tent.
Right. Marvin and Roy went to get a tent for the overflow for the Seder, for public Seder. Right. And they rented a circus tent, and this clown was just kind of dancing around. And then he honked Marvin's nose, which Marvin was very upset by.
Right, but he was menacing. It was menacing.
Yeah, I think because part of the plot device was that there had to be things happening that they didn't understand. They thought they were just renting a circus tent, and it turned out they were renting the whole circus. So there couldn't be like thorough communication between them. Mm-hmm. Do you want to hear what my answer to the Echos question is?
Yeah. Oh, you had an answer?
Yeah, I was doing the thing where I make you keep on giving me answers. And
I don't like that. You had an answer the whole time.
I had an answer. I didn't know if it was a good answer. I was listening to your answers to see if you had a better one. You did not satisfy me.
You did not, in fact.
You did not have a better answer.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it.
This is what I think. You might tell me I'm absolutely wrong and this is outlandish to say, or...
I need to put in my puppet eyes.
I'll have to send you some. 1995. That's how much they cost.
Thought that was the year you made them.
It's not the year that I made them. It is the year that Milli Vanilli were revealed to be frauds.
Is it really?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that happened in 1995.
Okay.
So what my suggestion is that in the Rebbe's answer that the oil burned and didn't get consumed, the miracle is not a change in the oil at all. It is a miracle involving oil, but it is not a miracle where the oil changed. It is a miracle where burning changed.
Oh my goodness. The oil didn't change, burning changed.
Yeah. Yes, Schleimer. You'd have to look at the language to see if you're okay with that, but...
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like that can have implications. It instantly, I haven't articulated it yet. It instantly made sense to me in terms of my understanding of the Rebbe's, so what I hear and see from the Rebbe's teachings.
Yeah.
The kind of a Lechatchila Rebbe approach of not worrying about the status of the thing and focusing on that action, my stoic or kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my mind went.
Okay.
All right.
You saved my life.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You want to tell us?
There was one opportunity you had to save my life, and you didn't. And instead, the Israeli tour guide saved my life. I was just walking in oncoming traffic in Israel.
Don't even remember that.
No, when you and I went to Israel together, and I was 13 or 12, and you were 19 or 20. Did I do that math right? Yeah. Yeah, so we were on this tour, and at some point I was just like eating an ice cream cone, walk across the street, and not paying attention to anything, and all of a sudden, the tour guide swooped me out, and then you were like, "Don't you realize this guy just saved your life? You have to appreciate this guy."
I told you that?
Yeah.
So not only did I fail to save your life, but that
you lectured me about
lectured you about you need to appreciate this guy, and that in China you have to be a servant for life.
So you had the lecturing part down already. You just didn't get the life-saving part yet. You had to build that up.
Right. There's a certain ratio of lecturing ability to life-saving ability that is viable as a...
Yeah, you were young.
Yeah. 19 or 20. Yeah. So you want to tell us a little bit about Parsha Rabbit Hole?
Yeah, sure. I don't know what you already said, but it's a weekly Parsha video I make where all right, so the name of the channel is Creative Judaism. That's the name of the YouTube channel. Do you have good with eyes?
Could you tell me about your latest creative endeavor? Okay.
The thing is,
go to like parent-teacher conferences for my kids. Be like,
I was when you were talking about it, I was thinking like, this isn't believable. This is ridiculous. This is obviously puppet eyes, right? But and so then I was thinking, no, but you'd have to use his taxidermy eyes, and then I was thinking of how wild that would look.
Do you use taxidermy eyes for anything?
I haven't. I've never made anything that needed to look that real. I have friends who use taxidermy eyes regularly.
Oh, that's a known hack among the puppeteers to use
it
taxidermy
is the like meeting point between the taxidermy community and the like VFX community.
What's VFX?
Video effects. I guess that's digital special effects community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't use the right terminology. Like, the creature making community. Mm-hmm. I haven't had an opportunity to use them though, because I've never needed to make anything that real.
Taxidermy eyes to make it believable.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing about taxidermy is the rest of the animal you can stuff it, right? You take out all the stuff that makes it work. You've got the outside that makes it look like an animal, and you can maintain that so it looks exactly like the animal.
Right.
Eyes are the only like front-facing exterior thing that won't last, that won't hold up.
You can't preserve.
Yeah, it's like muscle, it'll just wither away.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's the one thing that the taxidermist has to replace and make completely artificial.
So next time somebody is at the museum looking at the saber-toothed tiger, they should know those are just glass marbles.
Yeah, you're looking at the tiger's not looking at you.
And those eyes never looked at anything. They're not eyes.
Right.
What are bowling balls made of?
You know that I once called a bunch of bowling alleys, right?
Yeah, you made an ice ball.
Yeah.
I know about that. But what are bowling balls made out of?
They're made out of
I can't stop thinking they're made out of stone, but that's Fred Flintstone's bowling ball.
Yeah. All right. I think, without looking it up, that they're made out of resin, maybe with some sort of like metal core for weight.
That's very believable. They're not hollow, though.
If I said that to you, if I didn't preface it with this is my guess, if I just said, oh, they're made out of resin with a lead core.
Right. They're not hollow.
No, and then you got bowling balls that are all the same size and different weights. So I'm assuming they're filled with something different than the outside to help make them heavier. I'm making things up.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about the partial rabbit hole.
Oh, okay, fine. So yeah, name of the YouTube channel is Creative Judaism. That's the name of the website. It's my umbrella name for things. First thing I started doing, like, oh, I should, I'm trying to put content out there. I'll make a weekly YouTube video. Animation, that's historically what I've done. I'm like, I can't make a puppet show or a cartoon every week. And so then I was like, all right, I've given a few shiurim over the past few years, and I thought I'll just do what I do for those. And so I just like find something interesting, follow it down, follow it all the way until it gets somewhere, and then and do that. And so I landed up with is this channel called Creative Judaism, where its flagship series is a 20-minute parsha shiur, which seems antithetical to the whole Creative Judaism theme, if you just say it like that on paper. So it's 20 minutes of me just talking about interesting things, of something interesting I found in the parsha. But the whole idea of it is that I'm trying to this is what I think. I think somebody gives a shiur and they feel like they've got it, assuming that they prepare, this is somebody who takes it seriously to do a bunch of research. And I feel like normally you feel like you've got to, it's like not knowing the name of the people who wrote this sefer, right? It's like, or hiding under the puppet. Normally you want to conceal that, right? The thing that makes the class feel magical is that you just present your thing from your path beginning to end without you tell them what's necessary. So here, what I was trying to do is just like pull back the curtain and reveal the process of just finding things and exploration, and also not have a destination and just go off somewhere. Because there's so many fascinating things. It's like, the Torah, it's infinite. So there's just like infinite amazing things to find. So that's the creative part. Hello?
Yeah.
When did I cut out?
A long time ago.
All right. I want to tell you, I was going on the entire time because it didn't go black for me. Your screen froze.
Right.
Where you were just like this. So essentially it did this for you. Where I thought you were just really interested. Exactly. But then I kept on kind of trying to up it to get a reaction out of you, and it wasn't working.
That's what happens when the aliens come and inspect me. When the aliens come, the alien abduction, the little gray doctors, and they inspect you, and you scream, you're screaming and freaking out, and they're like,
Oh, that's what they do?
yeah,
I thought you were saying that's what you do to strip them of their power.
no,
They don't have power over me.
I'm screaming, and they go like this.
Well, they're also like, probing.
They're probing and stuff, but their face is like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I've known people like that.
They stare at you like they're inspecting you like the aliens.
During lockdown, when my kids were in Zoom school, I told them to, and they never did it. I said, I can give you my green screen for I've got green screens for work. I can give you that, and you use it so you have a really good Zoom green screen for the Zoom background. But then you set as your Zoom background a picture of you listening attentively, or even shoot a video of it and use it as a video background, so that you can just leave class. So whenever you leave, you'll still be there. They never did it.
You okay.
I like telling my children to do bad things because I win either way. Either they listen to me and they do something and they do what I want and they do something clever that wins. And I like telling them
you get a mitzvah of kibbut of.
What? They do the mitzvah of kibbut of, tell them ways to cheat and get ahead, because if they do it, then they got ahead. If they don't do it, then it means they have integrity. So either way, I win.
It's like the Mashal Azayna from the Zayar.
Okay, explain.
I don't know. She's trying to make somebody do something bad.
Oh.
She's happy when they don't.
Right, exactly, but not happy if they do.
Right, but you're happy both ways.
Which is interesting. Is the Yetzer Hara happy when we do bad things?
I think the Yetzer Hara is a very tortured entity. I think the Yetzer Hara is never really happy, never really fulfilled. I think the Yetzer Hara hates himself.
Interesting. The Yetzer Hara, it says in the Zayar, is supposed to protect you. Both the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara are meant to. This is, if you did a rabbit hole about angels, and something I quoted from the Zayar seemed to say, based on my very superficial understanding of the Zayar, is that that these two angels that are appointed to follow, that everyone has to appointed to follow them, is the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. So. And they're both supposed to protect you. The Yetzer Hara is supposed, which fits with the whole, mashal of the Zaina mashal. But it's a little bit different. There, with the Zaina mashal, it's more like bringing out how everything is. With this Zaina mashal, is the Zaina in on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. She knows why she was hired?
Yeah, that's the mashal, yeah.
I thought it was just that everything is in service of Hashem.
No, she knows, and she wants the prince to not succumb to her wiles.
Oh, because she knows that she'll get in trouble if...
No, I think she's noble. She's
invested in the...
She doesn't want to be part of debasing the king's son.
Mm-hmm.
She's very conflicted.
Right. Okay. So then it's still more about helping. It's not like it might overlap. It might be the same thing. But yeah, Yetzer Hara, but whatever the case is, Yetzer Hara is supposed to protect us, which is a fascinating idea to me. Because when we say it this way with the mashal of the Zaina, I get how the Yetzer Hara could want to help us and is doing... trying to tempt us just for whatever helpful reason. But protecting is so different. There's like a sense of nurturing about that, where it's like interesting to think of the Yetzer Hara as like loving us.
Yeah.
Doesn't say that anywhere. The Yetzer Hara loves us. Maybe the Yetzer Hara doesn't.
Right. But protection, you're saying, has certain loving connotations.
Maybe not. It's like the mob.
Yeah. It would be a shame if somebody were to burn down your store.
Right.
So while we were cut out for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
what were you saying about Parsha Rabbit Hole?
Okay. Tell me where I cut off.
Literally at the beginning.
All right. So what I was saying is, name of the channel is Creative Judaism. The flagship thing that I'm doing every week is a 20-minute Parsha Shir, which seems to be at odds with the name Creative Judaism. And
got my joke.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. All right. You know what? I'm going to get a new set of eyes for this. Oh, this isn't going to match. Here, I'll do 2 different eyes.
You know what that's called?
2 different sized eyes. It has a name?
Yeah. No, not size, but 2 different color eyes.
Oh, color eyes. Yeah, like, right.
Yeah, I think it's called heterochromy.
Okay.
Not pronouncing it right. A lot of dogs have it. For some reason, a lot of huskies will have heterochromic eyes.
Okay.
Those eyes have no irises. They're just pupils.
Yeah.
And the color is not in the iris, but it's on the eyelid.
And also, with puppet eyes, the pupils are always stuck on, and real pupils are just holes.
I always wonder how the pupils are so black. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Did I answer the question?
Not really. That wasn't as black. Pupils are black.
Okay.
So,
all right. And so, anyways,
it's called Creative Judaism. Why would I do a 20-minute Parsha Shir every week? Because we all know Parsha Shir means not creative. Is that what you were trying to imply?
I realize now that was not a nice thing to say.
So I have a Parsha Shir on soul words.
No, I'm what? All right. Do you want me to try and crawl out of this hole, or do you want to get
clean it up? No, clean it up.
I don't think usually attending a class is an act of creativity. According to like Hasidus, right? Is you have to be bottle while you're learning Torah, and so that you're just being makabel, and you turn off your expression, and you're just taking it in. It's not an act of a creative act.
So basically, when you're learning properly, you should look like this.
Yeah.
And then if the teacher says an incredible insight, you go. Okay.
I mean, that's how it sounds to me.
Okay.
So obviously you have to be interacting with it, and the more you can engage your audience, the better, or whatever, fine. But generally, you are consuming something that somebody else is giving to you, right? Or internalizing. You're not creating something new yourself. Afterwards, you can take it and digest it and process it and build your own new ideas. But during the class, you're consuming it. No?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And so, anyways, our punchline, the whole point of it is
basically you're talking circles around the fact that you think that most Parsha classes are boring.
Oh yeah. I don't need to talk circles around that. I think I think everything is boring though. I am very easily bored. That's like why I do things like this. Like reality and real life is so boring that I need to make fake reality so that it's less boring.
Mm-hmm. By the way, when people watch this recording, what time do you think they're going to guess that it is? What time of day do you think they're going to guess that it is?
I think it'll be different for different people. There will be people who are going to assume that it was first thing after Shacharis.
So, like 8 a.m.
Yeah, maybe 9 if we're a little bit on the lazy side.
On the lazy, like on a Sunday, maybe you finish chakras by 9. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we had something to do first. We had to go to the drugstore and pick up
our
cough medicine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's going to be other people.
I'm describing the life of a responsible person.
Right. Responsible people go to the drugstore every morning after chakras.
Yeah. They get something done.
Right.
It's not that they go to the drugstore after chakras. It's if they need to go to the drugstore, then they go to the drugstore.
Okay. And then other people are going to think what?
It just depends on when they would do it. I don't think anybody's going to guess the actual time.
Should we reveal it?
I'm going to reveal it with my clock. That's
your clock's broken
in the background of all my videos. Yes.
Your clock always says 8:05.
I'm very impressed that you know that. I have no idea what time this clock says, and it's been hanging on my wall for years.
You really have no idea? You can't?
No, I could not tell you. And I can look at it for a good long time before I could tell you.
I can read an analog clock. It just takes me so long that I usually wouldn't do it. Okay, so I'm going to reveal the time, okay?
Yeah.
The time will be, can you see there's too much glow? Too much glow, too much glare.
What are you doing? Showing me a picture of your computer screen?
No.
It's an illustration of recursivity?
No, this is not my computer screen. This is just the home screen of the iPhone.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, I see 218. And now I see my face. It was on the camera app.
It wasn't on the camera app. It went black and it reflected.
Oh, that's what it did. 218.
Here.
So yeah, my mind was blown by reflections then.
Hold on.
Like a cave person.
Here. This is black.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I see it now. I understand. You've got too many tabs open.
There's no tabs.
That I misunderstood.
Oh, on my laptop.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see my laptop tabs.
Yeah, and I saw your banking password.
Oh my goodness. You fiend. Fiend.
That was my whole trick the whole time. So I could get your banking information.
Okay. So but your Parsha share isn't boring.
I hope it's not. But whether or not it is boring, hopefully it still falls under the category of creativity. Because what I'm hoping to do is, all right, it's 20 minutes full of sources. I got a source sheet that's full of stuff. I hope that when people watch it, they think I'm really smart and I know everything. Because it would make me feel good about myself if people thought that. It's not true. It's just like, there's so much information available. Thank God we live in an age where there's just like, it's totally so accessible. It's so easy just to like click and find it. Anybody can do it. So hopefully that's what I'm trying to do. Just so like, it is not hard. You just find something exciting and follow. The hard part is that very often the things that we're given to learn are not the things that we think are exciting. And there's no reason for that. There's so much interesting stuff to just find something that's weird and interesting and follow it.
B'mokim shalibay chafetz.
There you go. You said it in real scholarly person words.
Yes. Learn whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say, because you're not saying it, you're saying that it's easy to do. Anybody can click a mouse, can do this. But I'm going to say that the level of scholarship with these episodes, you've done 9 episodes so far?
Yeah, 9, just did the 9th one.
Okay.
Working on the 10th.
So
it's going to be my 50th Rabbiversary soon.
I don't get it.
I was looking in my folder. I have a little card that shows up for little profiles of every single source that I bring for each different person, right? And there is like 40 something of them. In the next video, I'm going to hit 50. It'll be my 50th Rabbiversary.
Okay, so 50 sources. Okay.
Yeah.
So the level of scholarship involved in these episodes is really impressive. It's funny and quirky and super engaging and all that, but all that aside, the scholarship is very impressive, and it's not just about clicking on links. It's you're clearly you're hunting. Like, it's an expedition. You're like on an adventure. It's an intellectual adventure, and you're searching. And obviously, it's clear to me as someone who's done research before how many false leads that you don't show, and like there's probably hours of fruitless research of just going through things that are not what you wanted until you finally find the right thing. So I know what it's like, and it's a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of focus. It also requires a certain type of thinking, which is the ability to to know what you're looking for, and know how to hunt for it. It's like people know how to go like a junkyard and find parts and build a whole new car just from a junkyard. Like it's a certain type of savant who can know how to do that. So to be able to have a funny idea that's engaging and to have a theme and to actually be able to forensically put it together from the sea of sources that's out there.
Thank you very much. I'm torn about that because on the one hand, I want to believe that to be the case, that I'm very special and there is nobody like me, which is, I think, can you just say that that's true of everybody and save their lives?
So can I tell you something? I have had this exact same issue battling. Am I special or am I not special at all? And no, I have this inner conflict. And the only way I've been able to make peace with it is I say, well, yes, I'm incredibly special, but everyone is incredibly special. And that's how I'm able to be okay with being special, is that I truly do believe that everyone is incredibly special.
That's what makes you so special.
Thank you.
Not
so special in the same way. So I don't think anyone can do that kind of research. I don't.
So all right. So I'm torn because I like hearing, okay, this is something you can do that's better than the way other people can do it, and that makes me feel good about myself.
I think other people can do other things you can't do, like drive.
I can drive. I just can't drive well.
Drive safely.
I can drive safely most of the time.
It's not like your license has been revoked. I don't want people to think anything like that. But what I'm saying is there are certain life skills that generally are considered.
Like read a clock and tie my shoes.
Oh, reading an analog clock. Very good. You can't tie your shoes either?
I can. Not well.
So what do you do?
I try to knot them well and leave them that way forever. One time I got these elastic things, like they're rubber fake shoelaces that I installed into the holes of my shoes.
Right. Is that why you wear those clip-on ties?
I can tie a tie. That's laziness. I can do that. I know how to do it. It's just laziness there. I don't wear clip-on ties. I wear zipper ties. Clip-on ties are tacky.
Yeah, it's what cops wear. Hey, cop. Yeah. Man.
All right, so
So,
can I tell you something I'm trying to figure out right now?
yeah.
Oh, fine. Let me just finish what I was saying. Is yes, I want to hear that I'm really good at things. On the other hand, I want it to be true that that this is
You
something
want to
other
be
people.
Torah. You want everyone to be holy, but you don't.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
You're
Could you explain that?
enamored with the idea of populism.
I like being the guy who gets to say everybody's holy.
You like being the guy who still, everyone look at me. Everyone look at me. I have a very special and unique message about all of you. What makes you so special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? I think we've talked about it before, so you probably do know, and you've probably also noticed it too because we noticed similar things. But you know, the Rebbe's mitzvah of Bias Molly Sfarim is a quote from Korach.
Bias Molly Sfarim. Right. That's his language.
He used it as a way to make fun of mezuzahs.
Right. With a house full of Sfarim. And in that case, that means Sifrei Torah, Torah scrolls. Would it require mezuzah on the door, right? So Bias Molly Sfarim is, Korach's.
Having a house full of Sfarim, the way the Rebbe used it, just any Sfarim, not Sifrei Torah, that would be an interesting campaign. But yeah, that comes from Korach.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right? Yeah. So you haven't thought about it.
I didn't think about it, no.
So yeah. So yes, that makes me feel very good about myself to say everybody's special. Okay.
So what's this thing you've been thinking about?
Someone trying to figure out. Next week I'm doing dreams for the rabbit hole, and there's two different places that say. So one in Gemara, one says, "What's the most famous thing you know in Gemara about dreams?"
The most famous thing I know in Gemara about dreams?
Yeah, the thing that I'll definitely have to say at some point.
Oh, an elephant going through a needle?
No. Good. Next.
Dreams follow the interpretation.
Good. Next. You're gonna get there.
If you see Pinchas in a dream?
Do I have to mention that?
I don't
Dreams
know.
are 1/60th of prophecy.
Oh, yeah, 1/60th of prophecy.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
There's another somewhere else in Gemara. It says that dreams are like the grain in the straw. That every dream has truth and devarim betelim in it. Ein cholim with below devarim betelim. Right. So my question is the first thing the ratio by which there so the second thing said there's no every dream has truth in it and absurdity in it, and then the first thing we said is a dream is a 60th prophecy. Do they fit together? When we say that every dream has truth and dvarim b'telim, is it 59-1 or 60-1, whatever
That's a fascinating mathematical question.
Yes, that's the kind of hard-hitting journalism we're doing over at the Parsha Rabbit Hole.
So we watch next week, we might find out the answer to that.
We might. I don't know if I'm gonna.
Are you gonna make a pie chart?
I should, but I'm trying to make this one a short one so I can like catch up because I've been doing them late. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make a pie chart.
So okay. So I want to tell you something.
Please.
Okay. First of all, it's been delightful talking to you.
Thank you.
You see what time it is? Oh my God.
By the way, did we make it clear that it was AM?
No. It's 2:30 a.m. My son needs to go to the airport at 4 a.m. I need to learn 3 chapters of Rambam.
We got to go.
I did daven Maidav, and I did say V'sein Tal Umotor.
Okay. Good.
But I gotta go.
But you got to go. Do you want to say anything?
Do I want to say anything?
Yeah, you want to tie it all together, say something inspirational and life-saving?
We're all special. All animals are equal.
I don't know what that means. Oh,
George Orwell's Animal Farm.
yeah, I never read that.
Me neither.
Huh.
You think I read these books? But I know how to.
I didn't read it because like I'm like too holy for it. I didn't read it because that's on my list of things that I don't know how to do. Is
reading a whole book.
Is tying shoes, driving, reading a clock, and reading books.
Reading a whole book.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a criticism of communism.
Yeah.
Animal Farm. All animals are equal. Some are more equal than others. That's it. Whatever. Okay. Well, I'm sure you're going to pick up 11 new subscribers for the Parsha Rabbit Hole just from.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay.
I feel bad because we told like I was talking the whole time and you didn't get to share your wisdom with the world. I was joking a lot, and talking about how
serious.
Yeah, I am being serious. I was teasing you because we're brothers, and I know how much you like being teased.
I hate being teased because I'm very insecure and I take everything to heart. And when people tease me, I like sit and I think about it for a long time.
So now I know I was making a bunch of jokes about you saving lives, but literally people do say that all the time. So
I believe that they say it, and I believe that they think it's true, and it's not hard to. Maybe this is obnoxious of me to say it. It's not like you're saying it's not hard to do this kind of research for Parsha Rabbit Hole, and meanwhile there's somebody who can't do it and they're crying and they're like, "You're telling me this is easy? It's the hardest thing."
Right.
It's not. I'm not going to say it's not hard to save lives because I don't know, but it's not hard to get a lot of people to say that you save lives. And I just want you to know that was never a deliberate marketing thing on my part to be like, how can I get people to say that I saved their life? But there's something I'm doing that has the effect that makes people think that I saved their life.
Okay.
And in China, they would have to be my slave.
Is that a thing? You've said this twice.
I know. It's actually the opposite. It's the reason why in China, people will like run away from an accident victim. Because I don't know if this is true. Can you fact check this? I heard that there's a real problem in China of people not coming to the aid of like accident victims because there's a belief that if you help somebody or you start helping them, then basically then fate has ordained. I sound like such a whatever for saying this because like it's probably not even true and I'm believing this, but that if you help somebody, now you got to continue helping them and now you become like their caretaker.
I'm just finding UN reports on slavery in China.
Don't put slave. Don't put the word slave.
Yeah, but China, slave.
No, don't put slave. Put China, Good Samaritan, or China, accident victims.
Okay. Oh, I don't make me put China accident victims. Don't nobody Google that.
And do image search, unfiltered. I'm so sorry. China accident victims. Oh my gosh. No, George.
Oh man. Playing
what?
It's just a lot of sad things have happened to a lot of people everywhere, but now I'm finding out about all the ones that happen to people in China.
So do China Good Samaritan.
You're imposing a Western concept.
I know. And it's actually from the New Testament. We're going to have to get Tovia Singer over here to debunk it. You don't even know who that is. Your YouTube experience is so different than mine.
Yeah. You know, my YouTube experience is showing is suggesting videos about taxidermy eyes.
Really?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
My Amazon, though, has no idea what to suggest to me.
Amazon? Yeah. Amazon's trash.
It's very confused because it's like, oh, you're a ping pong enthusiast. Nope, that's not it.
That's not what I use it for. So China. Nobody will help the accident victims.
Yeah, fine. All right. I'm going to have to read too much, and I don't want to do that.
You didn't find anything?
I found something. I see a picture of a weird Chinese political cartoon.
Okay, so
the guy with a giant heart.
Listen. You know, as good as your research is in Partial Rabbit Hole, it's trash for this because I just found it in 3 seconds. Okay, this is from the subreddit R China. Is there really a law in China that says once you help someone, you're responsible, and therefore everyone ignores when something happens to somebody? I've seen some videos where that would be an explanation. Currently, a video is going around, blah, blah, blah. A lady got run over a car, everyone ran away. Okay. So it says here, there's definitely not a rule that says to help a victim proves guilt. All right, that wasn't even the question. No, in fact, there are recent Good Samaritan laws which are supposed to protect people who help victims. In China, I was driving an electric scooter at dawn along the road with my brother. This sounds anecdotal. In the middle of the road was a massive stone. I bumped it along, knocked him. Cars passed by me, almost running me over. People in China, whatever. Oh, that was purely anecdotal. Okay. All
right, you were making fun of my research skills. I found real hard facts about a lot of disturbing plane crashes.
Can I tell you another thing that I heard about why Chinese airlines have more crashes?
Okay. All right. I feel like I'm not going to like where this is headed, but...
And it's not just China. It's all Asian airlines have more crashes.
Okay.
Is what I heard. Okay. Because of the level of respect that one has for a mentor, a co-pilot will not disagree with a pilot.
Interesting.
And there's an expression in aviation, it's not a mistake until we both make it. So usually what happens is if the pilot is going to do something stupid, the co-pilot will speak up. But in China, if the pilot is going to do something stupid, the co-pilot goes like this.
What country has the most chutzpah and therefore least airplane crashes?
Halal. No?
That's what I was wondering.
I bet you it's true.
And I know how to interpret statistics. That is what that statistic would mean if it has the least crashes. It would be because they have the most chutzpah.
Yeah. Like Dershowitz. He wrote a book called Chutzpah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me about meeting him at an airport or something. And
I was flying.
He was chutzpah.
I was flying a little 2-seater Cessna with Dershowitz. And this guy was constantly like making suggestions to me.
You fly to Martha's Vineyard?
Yeah, we flew to Martha's Vineyard for the weekend together. And he was constantly making comments. The guy was like backseat driving, commenting on my aviation.
Chutzpah.
I said, Dersh, that's chutzpah. And he's like, well, it's not a mistake until we both make it.
You call him Dersh?
Yeah, I call him Dersh. And I said, is that what Klaus von Bülow told you?
I don't get that reference.
Klaus von Bülow. That's Dershowitz's first big breakout case. He defended Klaus von Bülow.
Okay. So everyone's supposed to know that. Oh, you know it because you're his buddy and you fly to Martha's Vineyard with him.
Yeah, what do you think we talked about?
In a prop plane.
Yeah, and then a prop plane. Oh,
all right. All right, we're gonna go now, or I'm gonna talk to you about Martha's Vineyard and how even though I know this is not the case every time I hear it, I think it is a private, like ranch owned by Martha Stewart that all the rich people go to and hang out at.
Martha's Vineyard is from a long time before Martha Stewart.
I would imagine that to be the case. I would imagine it has nothing to do with her.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a lot of misinformation in this episode.
Yeah, it's probably some that might stoke flames of stereotypes. Yeah.
We want to ask everybody to please assume that everything that we're saying here is satire.
Yeah, do your own research.
Please do your own research. Okay. So at any rate, you want to talk about vaccines?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's get into that. No, because I'm chomping at the bit to talk about that because I got a theory to share with you.
No, yeah. I've got a theory that vaccines cause muscle soreness in your shoulder.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Are we done? Have we we went on a lot of tangents. I don't know if we said anything.
I got to tell you something. I don't know how much I'm going to edit this. I don't think I'm going to edit it at all. This is the sloppiest episode of Blood Brothers, I think. But it's okay.
Usually we go off on all the tangents and we see it coalesces. It gets somewhere. It did not happen this time.
It didn't happen this time. But I want everyone to see that. I want them to know. It's not always this magnificent wedding cake. Sometimes it's runny oatmeal on a paper plate.
All right. I'm going to go fix myself a snack of runny oatmeal on a paper plate.
That's great.
Okay.
I'll see you. Bye.
Bye.